We need your help, buddy. Welcome to CTA 2026, or as we like to call it, Friends of Critical Thinking Americans, where we publicly ask one person well known in our society who has the means, know-how, and desire to influence many others to become active members of the Critical Thinking Americans 2026 movement. And again, we're not asking for their money. We are just asking them to publicly and enthusiastically endorse our CTA 2026 movement, however they see fit. Hello, my name is Brad Bartholomew, and the title of this video is Mark Cuban, CTA 2026. Mark, we've lived in the Metroplex for 30 plus years and raised our 2 kids here, and now we have 2 precious granddaughters that live nearby. Raylene was also raised in Southlake. Also, I flew for Southwest Airlines for 30 plus years and had the great pleasure of working for 2 remarkable leaders. For several reasons, I'd like to think our Critical Thinking Americans movement fell directly from the Herb and Colleen tree. Mark, we're asking you to be friends of Critical Thinking Americans for 2 reasons. One, you like helping people. It's obvious. That's who you are. You genuinely enjoy being a helpful person. And second, you're an outstanding promoter. That's your superpower. The Critical Thinking Americans 2026 movement is squarely in your wheelhouse, and we desperately need someone with your skill set to enthusiastically jump on board. Mark, our ask of you is similar to our ask of everyone. Well, kinda. Please watch our 5 CTA videos on YouTube that we posted last week, and we also have other videos on our American Zeitgeist channel, but we're only asking you to watch the 5 videos titled CTA 2026. Next, we ask everyone to talk to 5 friends, but we thought you might want to aim a little higher. An online endorsement from you, or however you want to climb on board, might instantly influence 5 million people, which could grow to 50 million people over time. Mark, we are trying to promote only one simple idea. We believe 2 out of 3 Americans are not happy with the direction of our country or the direction of the leadership of our government. And while we still have our freedoms of speech and fair elections, we intend to make a significant course correction in the fall. Mark, can I ask you to consider 2 more things? When you watch the 5 CTA videos, could you please just kind of sit with them for several minutes and see if you can visualize our CTA 2026 movement being successful this fall? The reason that I say this is because many people are beginning to lose hope that this cancerous MAGA mindset is unstoppable. The reality is the MAGA agenda of creating chaos, cruelty, and corruption has captured the White House and seems to have a controlling interest in the Congress and the Roberts Court. Our Critical Thinking American 2026 movement is trying to create the belief that we, the people, still have the opportunity and the ability to grab hold of our government and reorient it back toward traditional democratic values. Mark, can I make one final request? Could you please work the phones, meaning personally call your network of many friends and colleagues from the entertainment, business, and sports world that are also well known in our society, and ask them to become friends of Critical Thinking Americans. And especially all the athletes you know that work on teams. We're trying to create an American team again. Could you please recruit more friends of Critical Thinking Americans? We would greatly appreciate it. Mark, before we go, would you allow me to vent a little bit about the underbelly of MAGA in Texas? I'm guessing you're aware of most of these stories, but maybe not the last one. But first, here are a few brilliant authors that have directly linked the underbelly of Christianity and MAGA, which also has a stranglehold on North Texas. This book by Tim Albert, The Kingdom, the Power, and the Glory, American Evangelicals in the Age of Extremism. How to End Christian Nationalism by Amanda Tyler. She does an outstanding job right at the beginning of defining Christian nationalism. And this boy, Catherine Stewart, really nailed in the title here. Inside the Movement to Destroy American Democracy, Money, Lies, and God. Her other book, which I read before, The Power Worshippers, is also outstanding. But the one I kind of want to follow up on is from Mike Hixenbaugh, They Came for Our Schools, One Town's Fight Over the Race and Identity, and the New War for America's Classroom. That's kind of what I wanted to talk about. Back to MAGA in Texas. Yes, within a couple miles of our home in Southlake, a big box evangelical church whose founding pastor was on Trump's spiritual advisory board had to resign because earlier in his life, while he was traveling around the country as a young man, telling people about Jesus, he sexually abused a 12-year-old girl. And closer to home, last year, our conservative MAGA state representative, who had proudly passed laws making doctors liable for lifetime prison sentences if they performed abortions in Texas, he had to resign when a woman alleged he had a long-term affair with her and he had paid for several abortions himself. He agreed to the long-term affair, but he did not agree that he had paid for abortions. Yes, it seems like the Epstein affair all over. It's sickening to realize that since the MAGA morality has taken hold, America never seems to consider listening to sexually assaulted women when powerful white men are involved. But that's not the story I wanted to vent about. I want to talk about the Carroll School District. One of the primary reasons we moved to Southlake was the quality of the school district, and both my kids got fabulous educations from an outstanding group of teachers, librarians, and administrators. But since then, the sickening MAGA mindset has grabbed the Carroll School District too. About 6 weeks before a recent school board election, completely out of the blue came the MAGA dog whistle. Carroll school teachers were teaching critical race theory. It was a complete manufactured lie that I later learned did not come from an evangelical church, but rather it came from the church. I doubt Pope Leo would approve. This manufactured lie and scare tactic, however, worked perfectly, and several MAGA candidates with dubious educational resumes were elected to our school board and city council. It's quite unsettling that many of my fellow Southlake parents are so gullible or loyal to a political ideology or fiercely loyal to false gods that they are unable to distinguish between complete bullshit and reality itself. And what were the consequences of this electoral stupidity? Many of our best teachers, librarians, and administrators are being harassed, fired, or are quitting. But have no fear, MAGA cruelty, stupidity, and moral depravity has decided the best way to properly prepare our children's education and lead us into the future is by putting a poster of the Ten Commandments in each classroom. What kind of morally and ethically inept thinking elects and cheers for this type of intellectual stupidity? Mark, whether we're talking about our country or our planet or our school districts, we need to rid ourselves of this cancerous MAGA mindset. And American citizens are the only ones that can do it. All the other plans out there are for us to spend lots more money on elections, keep fighting with each other, and then maybe we can flip the Congress. And then maybe we could go back to the good old days of Mitch McConnell and Nancy Pelosi fighting in political quicksand to entertain us. Let's make a significant course correction this fall and try something different. The MAGA leadership is destroying our economy, our democracy, and our global leadership while allowing tech CEOs to become trillionaires and encouraging the Roberts Court to continue to make mockery of our civil liberties and freedoms. We need 2 out of 3 American voters to vote for critical thinking American candidates and send proud, reckless MAGA candidates packing. Please, Mark, we need your help. Something tells me you have a hell of a lot of fun rallying 2 out of 3 American voters to end this American nightmare. Let's make America trustworthy again, and let's make Texas friendly again. Time to shut up, Brad. CTA 2026. Watch 5, talk to 5. Safe landings, critical thinking Americans.